for attending this evening's council meeting. Councillors, staff and visitors, for undertaking purposes, this meeting will be recorded.
Welcome everyone to the ordinary council meeting for Tuesday, the 28th of November. We have an application for attendance by audio visual link from Councillor Marshall. Moved by Councillor Drayton, seconded by Councillor Bowditch. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That unanimous and carried. We have the acknowledgement of country to be read by Councillor Bowditch.
Yeah, I'd like to acknowledge the lands that we're meeting on here today, Wanneroo country, land of hills and plains and rivers. With that, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land and our elders past, present and emerging, and any Torres Strait Islanders that may be with us here today, and any Aboriginal people or elders that are with us as well.
Thank you, Councillor Bowditch. The civic prayer to be read by Councillor Leckey.
Almighty God, from whom comes every good and perfect gift, we give you thanks for the blessing you bestow upon us in this Shire. Grant to those who hold office in this council the spirit of justice and truth, of wisdom and charity, that mindful of our responsibility and the needs of those we serve, we may provide the true welfare of your people, exercise wisely and faithfully the authority committed to us, and advance the common good through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Thanks, Councillor Leckey. Please be seated. Welcome to coming along to this meeting. We have an apology for Councillor Douglas. If someone would like to move that way, moved by Councillor Bowditch, seconded by Councillor Mahajan. All those declare that unanimous and carried. We have confirmation of the minutes of an ordinary meeting held in 24th of October 2023. Moved by Councillor Woodruff, seconded by Councillor McNeil. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous. And the 16th of November. So we both of them. I'll get the councillors to raise their hand again in favour. Thank you. Declare that unanimous and carried. Disclosures of any pecuniary or non-pecuniary interests, and I'll start from my left and make my way.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to declare a non-pecuniary interest in item 10.1.2, heritage grants, or part owner of the local heritage rights.
Councillor McNeil. Councillor Woodruff.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Just have the one. Item 10.2.1, page 167, Angula Coal Continued Operations, Yarrawal Road Upgrade Project. Pecuniary interest, Mr. Mayor, is my employer undertakes work for the applicant.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I only have the one. I have a non-procurement interest in 10.2.1, page 167, Mangula Coal Continual Operations, Yarrawal Road Upgrade Project. My daughter works for the contractor that's going to be doing the works there.
Thanks very much. Any others in the room? No, I'll go to one screen. Councillor Marshall.
Yeah, 10.2.1 Mangula Road upgrade, as my daughter works for the contractor and non-pecuniary entity.
Thank you, Councillor Marshall. Bill Merrill minutes. We have public participation from Mr. Robert Hall and Mrs. Judith Hall in relation to 10.1.1, the DA 2022-132-67 lot subdivision and childcare centre at 9036 New England Highway. That might set up. And is that more? Mr. Hall, like you were saying, if you'd like to come over to the left, have 2 minutes left on. If you wish to go over, you can ask for an extension. If you need to stay, they have some questions.
Yep, we're not opposed to this development. First of all, just one thing is the fencing. We would like to raise because we couldn't see any of that in the proposed DA. So and the impost of the cost of that are not being borne by us, of course. We do have a development development that is not proceeding at this stage, but we join on 2 lots. So we may develop later on. We don't know at this point. What we were worried about was the integration between this development to be, if it's going to be granted to our own, the access being granted because it's another 35 lots. I guess councillors have looked at all that. I don't know. But the other thing was sewer design. We don't have a sewer design that I would like to be party to, because as you know, if it runs past our place, we need a point of entry. And stormwater, with the former development that was approved, on the side there was overland flow, which was we considered to be a problem, but it won't be a problem once our DA is implemented fully. So no, that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah.
But it was basically the fencing, because I couldn't see anything in regard to fencing.
So in relation to it, if the fencing was to be style of fence by length of the project, you would not see an issue.
No issue at all. But it's not in there.
Yeah.
It's not in there. So, like in, I think when Ted Bromley done the development across the road from us in Bimberdine, it started out being timber palings because he had a sawmill. Like that was what was the standard, if you know what I mean. So, it just needs to be verified and talked about. That's right.
Councillors were to accept this application with a few amendments and fencing.
We just need consultation, that's all. But like I said, we're not opposed to the development because we already have our own sitting there anyway. So, all right. The one thing that I would say, the one thing I would say is that I've lived there for 30 years, and the coming onto the highway may not be that easy, especially while we have a no bypass. Yeah.
Are there any other questions from councillors? Okay.
Very good.
Thanks very much for your time. Thank you. Business rising from the previous meeting. Development application assessment times as brought up by Councillor Dunn. Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Yes. And you're happy to move that way? Someone to second that? Councillor Barry. All those in favour, please raise. Sorry? No. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 9.2, the trigger points for management of tree assets. There's a recommendation there that the information be noted as supported by Councillor McNeil. Councillor McNeil, are you happy with the response? Is there any clarification?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just one question would be how many staff would be available to do this monitoring in a time of significant drought?
Through the General Manager.
Thanks, Councillor. Mel, would you like to provide a response, Mr. Ross?
Yes, directly as tree officer, but indirectly we have works partners, coordinator, 2 work seconds, supervisors.
And the natural areas.
And our natural areas. So we've got our technical officer, natural areas, as you know. Generally, he's provided 2 work operators.
Sound very equipped. Thank you very much. If I could please also, Councillor Mill, further review of the structural, we're actually augmenting that natural areas team as well.
If you're happy to move that motion, someone second, Councillor Bowditch. All those in favour, could you please raise a hand? Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.1, the planning environment. We come to 10.1.1, which is DA 2022-132 to 67 lot subdivision and childcare centre 9036 New England Highway, Muswellbrook. There is a recommendation that development application number 2022-132 for subdivision of 1 lot into 67 lots and the construction of the childcare centre at 9036 New England Highway, Muswellbrook, be approved subject to the conditions in Appendix B. And there is an amendment that we wish to make, which is, I'll let Councillor Drayton speak to it.
Just if we can make that amendment, the amendment you spoke to Mr Hall about earlier, that the fence, the erection and cost of the fence be borne by the applicant, not by Mr.
That'd be one. That's one amendment. I know that Councillor Scholes, there was another.
Yeah. I'd like to really have it confirmed in the appendix recommendations that the regards to the footpath, where we end up with regards to the developer contributing to the footpath connection with town, understanding that the owners of the complete link is possibly beyond this developer, but in some way this has to be addressed, because at some stage the council is going to have to install a footpath from here to town. So,
Yep, take that on board. So Councillor Drayton, sorry.
yep, if you just take that on board in some way, that I'd like the council officers in realising the development that's some way addressed, and we get some understanding of exactly where that ends up.
So Councillor Drayton, the extra condition that you've moved is for the fencing, the cost to be borne in the one style of fencing to be constructed
I'm not coming up with a necessary result, but I need to understand exactly what result it's ended up with regards to the financing of or the some form of footpath, cycleways, at least to commence.
I'll add that.
And
So, yeah, but just I was going to confirm this. The amendment is for the fence to be one style.
One style of fencing, construction and cost be borne by the developer.
And point two to Councillor Scholes is that a 2.5 metre footpath constructed from the development down to the Broadlands currently.
just understanding that there's still negotiation entered in with, because I don't want to put too much of an unrealistic expectation upon the developer, but it is something council is going to have to wear, and we need to have some way to be covering as much of it as we can.
Well, I'll put in forward an amendment to yours in the words that Councillor Scholes is trying to. Point two being that the applicant construct a 2.5 metre wide footpath from the down to the.
What are you looking at him when I'm talking?
It's his amendment. It's his
All right.
motion and amendment.
All right, yeah. I thought we were taking each one, yeah.
You want that included, though, or do you just want?
I want that included, yeah.
Okay, so you're happy for that?
You're happy with that?
So I'll have some others if I may.
Okay, well,
I'll talk to Councillor Graham.
yeah, okay.
With regards to the access to Crownland Lane, that the restriction of that access be a hard barrier, not just signage.
Motion of a Crown Land base.
Crownland gates.
And
The restoration of the Rotinian buffer, sorry, that it happens sooner rather than later with regards to the installation of trees on that buffer zone. And also ask the council officers investigate whether there are any infrastructure that needs to be added to the water and sewage infrastructure to facilitate any future developments external to this development.
so Councillor Drayton has to move on that to the second and
Yes,
then as amendments.
Yep.
I'm happy for that. Please, Mr. Mayor. Sorry, just second clarification.
Just possibly for including those additional items, we say that council delegates to the general manager preparation of additional conditions that include, and then I'll list those.
Yes.
Sorry.
Just in the first one, second item, Katie, please, that the council delegates to the general manager the following conditions.
Delegates to the general manager the preparation of additional conditions to cover, and then we'll list semicolon, erection and fencing on property boundary, footpath to town. Footpath from the property broadland.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
That's
correct.
The gate on the Crown Road. Restoration, of riparian zone adjoining Muswell Creek.
Commences soon.
Mentioned,
Curving project not away.
yeah,
Orient's facility.
General manager can take that on notice.
yeah,
Sorry, restoration preparing.
riparian vegetation along Muswell Creek. And
Council officers.
Pension services.
yes, council officers.
Investigate.
consider Infrastructure requirements to enable development of adjoining property.
Adjoining future development.
Takes into consideration. So we've had move second, the amendments accepted. Do we have any discussion? Anyone wishing for clarification or to speak to or against?
Just a question, Mr. Mayor, do we have to qualify the size or the width of the footpath?
I think it should be done by council.
2.5.
Yeah,
And the engineers have standards. So
2.5 is fair share.
And that's on a state road, it will have it, so not.
I think it should just be identified as a shared footpath side of the way.
Yeah.
And then that'll bring it in.
The size.
That's shared.
Okay, so we have that motion before us. Katie has it on the screen there. The councillors that can read it from that. Are you happy with that, Councillor Drayton?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I commit that motion. All those in favour, if you can raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. So you may stay for the rest of the meeting if you wish, or
Thank you very much.
okay, 10.1.2. We have Councillor Neil out the room. As a recommendation for the available heritage grants, the council approves the contributions from the local heritage assistance fund for the following projects: $2,000 for the repair to bricks and mortar in a cellar at 33 Brentwood Street, Muswellbrook. $2,000 for repair and maintenance of barge boards, sash windows, 6 shutters and 5 doors at 5 Medenga Avenue, Muswellbrook. And $2,000 for the maintenance and repair at 3179 Bylong Valley Way, Kirriby. Sorry. Sorry. Is there any
I'll move that one.
moved by Councillor Woodruff? Seconded by Councillor Barry. Any discussion? Does anyone speak to or commit that motion? Those in favour, please raise a hand.
Yeah.
Carried. Sorry, I'll defer that over. Leave it there.
I think I should choose to start.
Okay. 10.1.3, the monthly report to council, planning, environment and regulatory services. There's a recommendation that the information contained in this report be noted.
Yeah.
Moved by Councillor Drayton, seconded by Councillor Lackey. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.2, community infrastructure. 10.2.1, the Mangoola Coal Continued Operations Yarraman Road Upgrade Project. We've got on the screen too. Sorry, Councillor Marshall, you're going to have to go into a waiting room.
Yep, so it's just.
Kelly's, I think Katie's putting me there.
No, what he said, do.
No, he's not. Okay.
I will so move.
It's council recommendation that council knows the information provided for councillor Scholes has moved it. And who's councillor Lecky second. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Just have to wait for councillors to come back and
Someone have their choice in a minute.
Darryl.
Okay, he's whispering, Dale.
Yeah, just take a few.
Oh, no.
Brings us to 10.2.2, Section 138 Roads Act 1993 approval replacement of effluent pump Muswellbrook Drive. As a council recommendation, the council delegates to the general manager the authority to sign the S138 Roads Act 1993 permit to allow the replacement of effluent pump identified in the report. Moved by councillor Bowden, seconded by councillor Lecky. Is there any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.2.3, the 2023-24 large plant replacement program. Recommendation the council approves the 2023-2024 large plant replacement program. Moved by councillor Neil, seconded by councillor Woodruff. Any discussion? Any comments? No. Commit the motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.2.4, the water and wastewater levels of service for the financial year 2023-2024 quarter one. The council notes the information contained in the report. Someone to move that motion, councillor Woodruff, seconded by councillor Lecky. Any discussion? With that motion, all those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.3, property and place. 10.3.1, the Denman Christmas Markets fee waiver request. The council approves the fee waiver request in support of this community event. Councillor Barry moves and councillor Woodruff second. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.3.2, the Upper Hunter Community Services fee waiver request. That council, there's a recommendation that council one waives the fee for booking the Highbrook Park Sports Ground for the Cinema Under the Stars event, and two, does not waive the second section 68 fee. Moved by councillor Woodruff.
Yeah.
So it's been moved by councillor Woodruff and seconded by councillor Lecky, but hang on, Paul, we can get this. Councillor, you wanted to speak? No. Did you want to? Okay. Any discussion at all? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.3.3, the Wagon Gala Community Christmas Event fee waiver request. There is a recommendation that council waives the high fees requested by Wagon Gala for the hire of the Stanley Centre and Victoria Park Sports Ground for the Aboriginal Community Christmas event to be held Saturday, the 16th of December 2023. Moved by councillor McNeil, seconded by councillor Drayton. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.3.4, the Christmas food and toy appeal food fee waiver. There's a recommendation that council one waives the fee for the booking of the Muswellbrook Indoor Sports Centre for the annual Christmas food and toy appeal, and two, the estimated costs associated for the booking be funded from the Muswellbrook Indoor Sports Centre materials and contracts operating expenses budget 0460.0895.500. Someone to move that. Councillor Lecky, seconded by councillor Mahajan. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.3.5, the major project status report. There's a recommendation there. The council notes the information contained in this report. Moved by councillor Mahajan, seconded by councillor McNeil. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.1, the 2023 Christmas closure. There's a recommendation of council, one, supports the closure of the council administration depots and water and waste water facilities as follows. Friday, 8th of December 2023 for the staff end of year function. 12 noon, Friday, the 22nd of December 2023 and 2 until the 7th a.m. Tuesday, the 2nd of January 2024 Christmas New Year closure period. Wastewater operations as detailed in the report, and Muswellbrook and Denman Aquatic Centres as detailed in the report. 2, approves the allocation of $50 We Live Here gift cards to each staff member as a reward for service during the 2023 calendar year. 3, approves the payment of $1,000 to 6 staff members who have 20-year or 30 years service anniversaries as identified in the report. 4, notes that the local government unions have requested the following date for their combined picnic day and endorses the closure of council administration depot and water and wastewater facilities on the 27th of December 2023, which will fall during the Christmas New Year shutdown period. Councillor Woodruff, second by Councillor Lecky. Any discussion?
Commend council on the initiative.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, to meet that motion, all those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.2, the Public Interest Disclosure Policy, MSC 16E for adoption. Council adopts the attached Public Interest Disclosure Policy. Someone wish to move that? Councillor Dunn, second by Councillor Woodruff. Any discussion? All those in favour, raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.3, draft awarding of sponsorship, grants and contributions, and draft council seeking sponsorship policy for public exhibition. There's a recommendation that council, 1, approves the draft awarding of sponsorship and grants and contributions policy MSC 05E and the draft council seeking sponsorship policy MSC 049E to be placed on public exhibition by council's website for a period of 28 days. And 2, a further report be submitted to council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition period. Councillor Barry and seconded by Councillor Lecky. Any discussion? Commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. And just a well done to all the council staff that have been behind this, because it does lift a lot of weight, provide a streamlined process. So thank you. 10.4.4, draft section 355 committee guidelines for MSC 22 for public exhibition. There's a resolution recommendation that council approves the draft section 355 committee guidelines to be placed on public exhibition by council's website for a period of 28 days, and 2, a further report be submitted to council for considerations of submissions received during the exhibition period. Do I have someone to move? Councillor Lecky, someone second. Councillor Woodruff. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.5, the 2022-2023 annual report. Recommendation, the council endorses the 2022-2023 annual report, excluding the audited financial statements. 2, delegates to the General Manager authority to publish the 2022-2023 annual report on council's website and to forward a link to the report to the New South Wales Office of Local Government, Minister for Local Government and the Minister for Disability Services. Someone to move that action. Councillor Barry and Councillor Lecky. Any discussion? With that motion, all those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.6, General Manager's performance priority. There's a recommendation that council notes the information contained in the report. For someone to move that motion, Councillor Stiles and Councillor Woodruff. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.7, the September 2023 quarterly budget review. There's a recommendation that council adopts the proposed changes in the September 2023 quarterly budget review. Someone to move that way, councillor Leckey, councillor Woodruff. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.8 reports on investment held as at the 31st of October 2023. There's a recommendation that council notes the council's investments as at 31 October 2023. Someone to move, councillor Scholes, councillor Mahajan to second it. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.9, the monthly financial report October 2023. There's a recommendation there. The council notes the financial reports for the month ending the 31st of October 2023. Moved by councillor Barry, seconded by councillor Leckey. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Which brings us to 10.5 community economy. There is 10.5.1, the Denman Chamber of Commerce Denman Christmas Markets. Recommendation that the council approves the total contribution of $4,000 towards the Denman Chamber of Commerce Christmas Markets and Events. Someone to move that motion. Councillor Marshall, the councillor Woodruff.
Can I just have a spell check there?
Yes. Like to move an amendment.
Like, love you, mate.
Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.5.2, the community services. There's a recommendation the information contained in this report be noted. Someone to move that way, councillor Woodruff, councillor Leckey. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.5.3, the report on council grant funding and community engagement. There's a recommendation. 1, notes the council notes the information contained in the report. 2, council approves council applying for the funding under the Community Improvement District Pilot Program for funding for physical and non-physical interventions to activate the public space of the Honey Innovation Precinct as a component of the Muswellbrook Town Centre Plan. 3, approves council submitting an expression of interest to participate in the Australian Government's next round of the National Water Grid for funding for the Denman to Sandy Hollow pipeline, with alternate projects being the installation of a water softening plant at Denman, the replacement of the South Muswellbrook water main, and the replacement of the high voltage transformers at the Muswellbrook water treatment plant. 4, approves council applying for funding under the Get New South Wales Active program as per the suggested reports nominated in the table contained in this report. 5, approves council applying for funding under the Disaster Ready Fund Round 2 program for the undertaking of an audit of council's drainage infrastructure works and the construction of a detention retention basin at Corolla Park. 6, council approves council applying for the funding under the club grants category 3 infrastructure grants, arts and culture for upgrading the Muswellbrook Regional Arts Centre, including design, interior and exterior painting and other renewal works. And 7, approves council applying for the funding under the Commonwealth Regional Precincts and Partnerships Program as per the suggested projects nominated in the table contained in this report. And no one asked to read that again.
Sorry, I didn't get mine.
Someone to move that way. Councillor Leckey.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, or Mr. Chair. I'd like to just the minute taking that I was actually attended that meeting and my name wasn't on the attendance. I turned up a little bit late, but I was there.
Okay, we'll have that.
Thank you.
Sorry,
And I thank Ivan for a great report.
Councillor Leckey, seconded by, Councillor Barry. Any discussion? To meet that motion, all those in favour, please raise a hand. Clear that unanimous and carried. Brings us to the minutes of committee meetings. 11.1, Finance Review Advisory Committee, 19th September 2023 and the 17th of October 2023. The minutes for the recommendation is the minutes for the Finance Review Advisory Committee meetings held on the 19th of September 2023 and 17th of October 2023 be noted. Councillor Mahajan, seconded by Councillor Lecky. In discussion, all those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 11.2, the Regional Entertainment Centre Development Advisory Committee, 18th of October 2023. There's a recommendation, the minutes for the Regional Entertainment Centre Development Advisory Committee meeting held on the 18th of October 2023 be adopted, moved by Councillor Scholes, seconded by Councillor Lecky. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 11.3, Grants Review Committee, 12th of October 2023 and 9th November 2023. The minutes of the Grants Review Committee meetings held on the 12th of October 2023 and the 9th of November 2023 be noted. Councillor Lecky and Councillor Scholes. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 11.4, Local Traffic Committee minutes, the 14th of November 2023. There's a recommendation there that the minutes for the Local Traffic Committee meeting held on the 14th of November 2023 be noted, and the recommendations contained therein be adopted by Council. Councillor Bowditch, seconded by Councillor Barry. Any discussion? Those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Brings us to the notice of motions 12.1, the electric vehicle strategy and feasibility plan. Accounts from Councillor Barry as recommended. The council seeks funding opportunities to initiate development of an electric vehicle EV strategy encompassing a feasibility plan, identifying optimal charging station locations and a comprehensive community communication package to promote sustainable transportation in our Shire. Councillor Drayton.
I have a couple of questions. But first of all, I don't disagree with the motion in particular. The strategy, a couple of things I'm concerned about though. Is it correct to you, the Chair, the General Manager, that we're currently in the process of developing some sort of EV charging strategy at the moment?
Councillors, our net zero roadmap identified moving toward electric vehicles is one of the actions we will need to do. So staff have been looking at other councils' EV strategies and discussing with the Environment Protection Authority a template they've got about EV strategies that we can use to prepare one. So we are in the motions of doing something.
This motion doesn't tend too much to deal with council buying electric vehicles so much as the community charging stations and the broader spectrum of what it involves. A couple of questions I have. First of all, I'm concerned about any council funds initially spent. I mean, I think my view is the most important thing is we have one in town currently. The most important thing is actually find out how much use it gets. You know, if we find out that the usage is really low, I mean, I'm sure our spending priorities should be placed elsewhere at the moment. I think go out and do that. So I think I'm really concerned about what council funds will expend when there's an awful lot of work that appears in that motion for council staff to go out and do. So I'm concerned about the quantum of work for a start that council staff might have to do. I just think we should investigate, you know, obviously the requirement for one first. The second question I have, I know we haven't got a strategy yet. This calls for a strategy. In the response by the group manager, it talks about the mayor's been out and advocated on behalf of Muswellbrook Shire with the Hunter JO about the development of an EV strategy for Hunter Valley. Are you able to give us a report on what you advocated on at that group and what response you've got to that advocacy?
So in relation to the advocacy through the HJO, it's been around documentation of this public exhibition about trying to encourage people with electric vehicles and speaking to Minister Sharp with Councillor Snell and down in Canberra, Minister Bowen, and again the local announcement for the Liddell closure. I did speak to him then about potential funding for the opportunity for a strategy, because we need a strategy first and foremost. And that's what we've been trying to target, is a strategy. And I think for this motion, I can't speak on behalf of Councillor Perry, but I think it's more seeking funding opportunities, be it grants or the likes, but it is about having a strategy to make sure that we've got something here in our Shire, because we're one of the Shires that are behind at the moment.
If I can ask Councillor Barry a question, is the motion, sort of words come after your motion, is it the case that you want to, or does the motion, do you require the motion to go out and seek funding and then do all those things with that funding? Or was there just, if we don't get funding, we'll go and spend it anyway?
So as an add-on to this communication with the general manager, we did actually look at the grant funding currently available. And there was conversation around it. Obviously, it's not documented in this, but it was definitely something that was discussed about what is available from the government in regard to funding to support this initiative.
So this wouldn't occur, all this work wouldn't occur from council staff until obviously the funding was realised, or probably doesn't have to be realised, but at least.
There's opportunities.
Yeah, at least.
Let's explore those opportunities.
Committed to.
Let's see what's available.
Thanks very much, councillors, and thanks, councillor Drayton and councillor Barry. In relation to this, council staff are really advocating, as is the man, to make sure that the Hunter Valley has an overall strategy, and that, of course, Muswellbrook Shire needs to be a part of that strategy, so that there's a structured way that EV charging and EV vehicles are managed throughout the state of New South Wales, not just in an ad hoc way, but in a structured way. And that's really our concern, is to make sure that occurs, and we're part of that, as Councillor Barry said, and you said, Councillor Drayton, we're part of that, and that it is strategic and not ad hoc. That's certainly a great concern to make sure that occurs.
I guess that just an issue statement is that we have had contact from the local car dealers in relation to being able to provide information where we're going to have car charging and what's our strategy, so as they can pull it forward. So yes, I don't see it as a bad thing. I just think that if we can find that funding, that we move forward with getting the strategy in place.
So again, the commitment from council will be a funding commitment. They need to be funded before all that work occurs.
That's correct.
Okay. Sorry, I say funded, grant funded.
Or through, I think there's the net zero 2050 allocation.
There's multiple things because we need to move to net zero. I've got staff working on this, so that's staff time. That's already in my salary bill. We are a member of Sustainable Advantage, which is a state government run program. It gives us so many consultant hours each year without us having to actually pay more. And Sustainable Advantage is the group that's actually created a few templates for us to follow to prepare a strategy. There are grants out there though that council can apply for to investigate charging sites in particular. There needs to be certain power available, all sorts of things, which you normally need to engage in an electrician to help you with. So in those cases, we would like to be able to apply for funding to help complete those aspects of the strategy. And yes, probably without grant funding, we don't have money in our budget to do that at the moment. Other than we do have some money sitting there to implement the net zero roadmap. If we struggle to get the funding in an appropriate time, we could do a business case to council and say, can we spend some of that reserve funds to do this work? But at the moment, we think there's a lot of grants out there. The number of charges in Muswellbrook is growing, so they're being installed on private sites, not just the recent facility council has installed. And it's interesting that the council facility, the usage is already creeping up, possibly because word of mouth is saying that there is a facility there. There is a website that shows the location of those, and we're tracking that. And there's a website that actually tells us how many electric vehicles are registered to residents of Muswellbrook. There was 0 a year ago, and there's 2 full electric and something like 10 hybrids or something at the moment. So we're able to monitor what's going on. And to complement that, probably we need to review our development control plan so that new development, particularly fast food, restaurants, hotels, motels, are required to install charging as part of their development application. So there's a range of things going on, but we need that strategy. And one of the other things we've identified is that electric vehicles might not be appropriate for our heavy plant. We might need hydrogen. So our electric vehicle strategy might actually be it's a decarbonising our vehicle strategy. For us, we might need charge points at the new depot, sustainability hub to charge our own vehicles. They might not be available for the public to access. So yeah, that's all the sort of thing that we need to put into the strategy to work. And we'll try and do a lot of that with staff and not need any external funding, but where funding opportunities come up, we'd like to apply for it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Can I just add through the chair, just in terms of, global transition. So 34 countries have announced policy to ban internal combustion engines by a date. So 7 million electric vehicles were sold in 2021, 10 million were sold in 2022. First time China has had a 40% share of all electric vehicles being sold in Beijing and now electric vehicles. And in terms of where we sit, 3 hours from Sydney, we're perfectly positioned to be able to start to attract that tourism market. Whilst we have fast chargers, people will still need to stop and do something while their car is charging. And we do need to have a number of sites and locations for people to be able to use their app and, think that, possible visit would place potentially post bypass as well to make sure they're coming into the town to spend funds. So it's a really important part.
The concern, just in a nutshell, was that when it's council money, we need to work out. Ultimately, Sharon just answered the question. Up until recently, there's 2 registered full electric vehicles in our whole Shire.
Yeah.
So we're not really representing a lot of the people at the moment. But next year, you're right, there might be 25 or 100. I just would like to make sure that before we go spending council funds, if it's not grant money, that we want to make sure that the requirement is there first and foremost for our own community. And of course, that secondary benefit is always going to be attractive to people as well.
And there's a New South Wales EV strategy. We want a strategy for the Hunter in general, and there should be funding for Destination New South Wales, a whole range of other government departments to now enact that policy, to help enable EVs across the state.
I'm much more comfortable.
Moved by Councillor Perry, seconded by Councillor Scholes.
Add the motion as written.
Any further discussion? All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimously carried. Brings us on to 12.2, enhancing public asset protection through CCTV surveillance. Council Bowditch, the council recommend motion is that the council, how does this one read? The protection of the public assets is vital for the wellbeing and security. This is a bit of background. The implementation of closed circuit television surveillance systems has proven to be an effective tool in deterring and investigating criminal activities in public spaces. The use of CCTV cameras can also aid in monitoring and managing public assets such as the infrastructure, parks and government facilities. And I recommend that the Muswellbrook Shire Council proposes the implementation of CCTV surveillance systems in public spaces with an emphasis on protecting public assets. And the Muswellbrook Shire Council of one, source appropriate funds via grants for the installation, maintenance and monitoring of CCTV cameras in strategically selected public areas. 2, Muswellbrook Shire Council will collaborate with law enforcement agencies to ensure effective utilisation of the CCTV surveillance systems in preventing and investigating criminal activities that may threaten public assets. 3, Muswellbrook Shire Council will adhere to a privacy and data protection regulations, ensuring that the CCTV surveillance is used responsibly and transparently. 4, Muswellbrook Shire Council will conduct regular reviews to assess the effectiveness of the CCTV surveillance program as in protecting public assets and make necessary adjustments as required. 5, the Muswellbrook Shire Council engage with the community through public consultation and awareness campaigns to address any concerns and gather input regarding the implementation of CCTV surveillance in public places. This proposed motion, once adopted, will enhance public asset protection, improve community safety, and contribute to the overall well-being of our local residents.
Question, if I can, to Councillor Bowditch. Were you aware, Councillor Bowditch, of the policy that we adopted? Have you read that policy, or you're aware of the policy that we adopted?
That's attached. That's attached.
Yeah, when you put this motion forward?
Yeah, I looked at, that's why I've put in there that we need to go back and go through our policy and be aware of what our determinations are, what we can and we can't do with our policy.
We can't go backwards and forwards as councillors. It's only one question and a supplementary question if there is clarification.
My question was, with all the questions out there, so we can cut vote on it until I've got it clarified, particularly if it's coming from council. Is there anything in your motion that the policy didn't already expect council to do? It seems to be, again, a lot of work for staff to go and do, an awful lot of work for staff. If you read from about section 4 in that policy, it almost identically says what you've said in your motion. So that your expectation just is that effectively council just implement that policy. Was that the expectation, or was your expectation staff do something more than that?
No, my expectation is we look at introducing the policy, but before we can go to do it, we need to make sure for protection of the public and everyone else that we cover all the bases, that we're not doing anything on the illegal side.
The policy,
that everything is clear.
Sorry if I can. The policy has been adopted, isn't it? It was adopted last year.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so just I understand that it's enacting those policies, but it's more around, again, the sourcing of appropriate funds via grants for installation, maintenance and monitoring of CCTV cameras in strategically selected public areas. And as we discussed in a briefing session, the ongoing crime that we have at the moment, it's just councils, our staff have said that we've been approached by police for material, and I think that the community wants to feel that secure as well. Councillor Scholes.
Yeah, I think Councillor Great has a pertinent point in that I have no problem with item number 1, which is search going for grant funding with regards to it. And Councillor Bowditch's point number 5 with regards to the education community, I think that's potentially that. But items 2, 3 and 4 are in the policy that we currently have.
I think it's just, I mean, I understand what counts.
Yeah, no, I'm saying.
I think it's compensation, but it's just strengthening.
I don't think it changes the policy at all. It's already in the policy. We have to do that. I think Councillor Bowditch has got a good idea that we change parenting. I think he's got a good idea that we do a community education. But points 2, 3 and 4 are already in the policy.
Yeah, it's just enforcing it and throwing it so as people don't read this notion. Sorry, I'm just, yeah.
You have a question? What's back to Councillor Scholes? What's the detriment of that?
I'm just identifying.
Yeah.
We're making a motion.
Verbosity, is that the detriment?
That's an oversimplification. As I said, Councillor Bowditch has put points 1 and 5. It's a great idea, but I don't see why we're passing a motion of council that duplicates a policy which is even attached to this motion.
Sorry, if I can clarify, my question just was there anything outside the policy of funding that council has expected staff to do? There seems to be an awful lot of work staff to. That's all I want to know. Or is it just reminding staff of the policy and let's enact it?
It's just making sure that we enact in the boundaries of the policy, so everyone sort of is basically on par with what I've got.
I just see it as, no, I mean, it's not a general chat, but I just see it as if someone was from the public to grab this motion that's been put forward, that strengthens it by saying we're not just going to get CCTV, that there are actual ways, and you can put it in reliance with the CCTV policy. It's just.
Can I put it another way, Mr. Mayor? When I first read the motion, the thing that prompted me to do was then go to the policy and say, why don't we've left stuff out. And we hadn't. And that prompted me, that was my first reaction when I read that motion. I thought, geez, that's pretty obvious. We should be bloody collaborating with the law enforcement. We should be doing that, and we should be doing that. So I went and read the policy and said, it says we're already doing it. I'm not detracting in any way from Councillor Bowditch's original thought process with regards to applying for grants, and we do a community education. But I just, again, I don't see what value actually possibly there's a slight detriment with regards to saying, hey, we didn't get it right, the policy's not right. That we have, we're basically saying the policy's missed something.
I can suggest, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Sculls moves an amendment to that effect.
Yes, okay, well, I've moved an amendment that Councillor Bowditch motion stands with item 1 and item 5.
Yeah,
Second that.
so the amendment's being put to Councillor Bowditch, you've moved it, second by Councillor McGill. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Guessing we're doing the same thing on this one. 12.3, the commencement of a town beautification plan upon completion of the town bypass. This is from myself, and it's the motion reads: Muswellbrook Shire Council initiate a town beautification plan in anticipation of the town bypass by constructing a committee immediately. 2, the town beautification plan shall include the following key components: landscaping and green spaces enhancements along the bypass and within the town, installation of aesthetically pleasing signage welcoming visitors to our community. C, maintenance and restoration of historic landmarks and heritage sites. D, street art and public art installation to promote cultural expression. E, develop of pedestrian friendly pathways and recreation areas. That's a subcategory. 3, Muswellbrook Council shall establish a dedicated committee or task force responsible for overseeing the planning, implementation and funding of the town beautification plan and delivery. 4, funding for the beautification plan should be allocated from the town's budget, grants, public, private partnerships and community fundraising efforts. 5, Muswellbrook Shire Council shall, I'll just remove that part out there actually, remove fundraising efforts. 5, Muswellbrook Shire Council shall actively seek input from the residents, local businesses and community organisations to ensure that the beautification plan aligns with the desires and needs of our community. 6, regular updates on the progress of the town beautification plan shall be provided to the public, and transparency in decision making and budget allocation will be a priority. Muswellbrook Council should work in collaboration with relevant government agencies, experts and consultants to ensure that the beautification plan is well informed and sustainable. A timeline for the execution of the town beautification plan will be developed with the aim of completing the plan with a reasonable time frame. So to give a little bit of background so we don't go through the same thing, we need to bypass a bit of background. We had a town beautification plan previously that was discussed and it had been mothballed. That's a bit of to say what I'm trying to put in top context there is we need a town beautification plan, a committee for the beautification of the town, taking into account now that the things have changed with the main street and the positioning of the Regional Performance Centre, and looking for funding opportunities, be it budget, grants, BPA, be it whatever, but to get the ball moving to have a bypass. But I'm just going to move an amendment that we didn't know it wasn't in there. Nominate a committee to get that started, similar to our committees for the heritage, everything. So yes, Councillor Drayton.
Couple of questions. The first one, the commencement of the motion. The Muswellbrook Town Bypass Project, the Muswellbrook Town Bypass Project is nearing commencement. The last conversation you and I had, you as councillors, was, I think it might have been an interview done on Mr. Katrupi's breakfast show where there was a rumour about that it's been put back some time. So he didn't say who said the rumour, so the rumours the bypass has been put back some time. Has that changed? You now say the town bypass is nearing commencement. Have you got any idea?
I spoke yesterday
When
on the
that-
radios and announced that it is, and speaking to the minister, I met with the minister last week in Sydney, and it is running to timeframe for 2027 completion. And I spoke on the radio to advise everyone that, yes, up today.
Be able to hear today's radio. The second question is, I understood that certainly in this year's budget, that the state government had they'd issued the money for there was issued money, sorry, for planning and approvals, but there was no funding for construction. So for planning and approvals, there was. At the moment, there was no construction and certainly no offer of when that money would be there. Has that
I was
changed?
asking a question. Is this one question or is
Has it changed? No.
We can ask them all because that's how, yeah.
Secondly, my problem on, obviously you changed one of them. My view was a bit rich asking the community to fundraise for
Yeah.
something that they already own.
I don't know. Yeah.
Ask them to fundraise for a bypass. Secondly, didn't we have, well, you only just raised this. When was the Gazard Sheldon master plan, so it's the old master plan that was, when was it mothballed? And when was it officially mothballed? Because I understand it hasn't been, and
Yeah.
still find it.
Well, when I say, okay, yeah, I'll let you go, sorry.
No, I was just asking when it was mothballed. I can't ask my next question until it's that.
Going to be practice. We have not had a committee or standing committee this term at all. It has been discussed.
We also aren't closer to the bypass. In fact, we're probably further away than we thought. Certainly, you and I both ran in the election a couple of years ago, and we actually, I genuinely believed it was a lot closer than what it might be now. So certainly, I don't know how close it is, but certainly there's no money for construction. So that tells me there's obviously a fair bit, still a considerable time away. I don't disagree with the committee, but I do disagree with a number of things. And one of them is starting from scratch, reinventing the wheel. Of course, there's an enormous amount of money in getting a consultant and doing all that stuff. I understand the Gazard children, the details I could find, that master plan had been accepted unanimously. It had been put back to council sometime later. I'm talking a while ago.
What year?
Oh, I can't remember what year it was. It was John Colvin was the mayor. I had a look when so it was obviously a long time ago. The Gazard Children Review, and of course it would need updating now and need considerable work done to it. But the other issue I've got is we also want to use a public-private partnership to fund the town beautification.
VPA. Yep.
Yeah. You're obviously aware you need ministerial permission for that to happen.
For VPA money for us.
No. Public-private partnership.
That should say VPA money.
It
Apologies.
says public-private partnership.
The VPA partnerships.
It's cost about $50,000 to even set that up and you need ministerial permission for it. So yeah, what the issue is we appear to be wasting an awful lot of money going back and inventing the wheel. I mean, there's no doubt, as I say, there's no doubt that we could build, we could have to change and go back and look at what was already there. But there's an awful lot of money when really, if you've got a date, I mean, I haven't got a date. When will it be done? What I don't want to do is, I've seen Councillor McNeil say something ago, and I mentioned John Colvin. It was a long time ago that John Colvin was here. But what I don't want to do is go back and spend that money again and have a council in 4 years or 8 years' time talking about when Steve Reynolds was mayor all that, 2 or 3 terms ago, and we've wasted a whole lot of money again for a second time around. So I'm just concerned, not concerned so much about the committee and some ideas and stuff, but I am concerned because I did see that it was a long time ago, there was an awful lot of money there to go back and do. I'm concerned that we're going to be in the same position again. If you're telling me now that the Gazard Children Master Plan has been mothballed and we don't use it, it's an awful lot of money to get back there again. Then to not know when we're going to need it for until the bypass is completed, obviously, and then not know that we're going to go. And your motion requires that to happen. It shall, you say, that shall happen.
Shall.
All the stuff shall happen. We shall go back and
The key components, that's okay, to answer your questions. Yes, councillor Drayton, the Minister for Transport, we were in a meeting with her last Thursday and with Transport Online as well. The General Manager was with me and it was clearly stated, to take it back to the electorate, that it is 2027 completion date and they're running on time. I've been, since being here, you've seen me walk out to take a phone call. Again, it was about media publication here stating that it isn't going to be on time and that, again, it is going to be on time 2027. So that's coming from the Minister directly to myself. Muswellbrook Shire Council initiates a town beautification plan. It was 15 years ago that John Colvin was mayor prior to that. So it's going to need updating. It's been mothballed. That's why I say it hasn't been brought forward to, it's not saying we can't look back to move forward, to have a look at that plan and see what needs to be done, but a lot's changed. There's been discussions about having the main street back then was to be single lane. There's been discussion about, do we put in general conversation, whether we put car parking in the middle of the main street. It's asking to, and as I've just said, made an amendment to ask for a committee of councillors interested to join a committee to commence the town beautification plan. I don't see any detriment or any financial implications that, other than that we don't start that process, given that the federal government's even committed their money recently and said that it's available. So yeah, we are waiting on the state government money to be there in the next budget or the budget after, but they have 100% assured 2027, didn't they, Derek?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So we get in trouble with the state government for saying this, but you know how many times I've been assured the Muswellbrook bypass is going to be probably by both governments, not just.
Oh no, but we have to run by a code of meeting practice, so you have to ask a supplementary question or.
Just confirming where the shall Muswellbrook. It's just basically the beautification plan shall include the following. It goes all through all the key components. Is it your view then that this committee just decide what landscaping and green spaces or?
I think it actually says in there, Councillor Drayton, that we collaboration with relevant government agencies. So it's commencing a committee that when then the terms and conditions are actually discussed with that committee, that whether it be the Chamber of Commerce be invited to be a part of it, a representative from.
No, I think you think you've misunderstood my question. The question is that stuff. I mean, all the stuff that you've listed, all of it, but certainly a lot of it, is all stuff that you need a consultant to do. You need a business coming. I mean, I'm not sure, you know, that the committee would be able to decide about the maintenance, restoration of historic landmarks, or you know what.
That's part of the committee. That's.
So you say the committee could all the stuff that you want done, the committee could do. We wouldn't cost council money to get anyone in.
That's starting the beautification plan, which I guess some of these key points could be, and it's just drawing out to council what the committee's about, rather than just saying we're starting a beautification plan. It's to make a case of, again, starting the beautification plan, having a committee to move forward and activate the committee. So yes, maintenance and restoration of historic landmarks might be a recommendation from the committee. It doesn't say it has to be all done in 2023 or 2024. So yeah, it's about getting the town beautification plan moved.
Just under council in 1994.
I move that the motion be put.
Yeah, it's what we've been planning all day.
That's it now. It's got to be put.
Yeah,
That's code of meeting practice.
well, it's a voted upon if voting.
You can't. You make changes, didn't you?
I've made the amendment.
So
I need someone seconded. That's the thing. I put forward the motion with the amendment being the removal of public partnerships, being BPA, remove funding and that nominations from people on council to be a part of the committee.
And the community money, wasn't it? Third one. The community fund for community. And you say that shouldn't be there?
You remove it.
You remove that too?
Yeah.
Council should establish and nominate a dedicated committee or task force to oversee planning and
Well, Mr. Mayor, the motion, I move that the motion be put, it can then be put and the amendments can be made afterwards.
So what I've done is made a put the motion forward now with those amendments. I needed someone to second it, and then the motion. Are you seconding the motion?
I'll second.
With you?
With
Yes.
the amendment.
So I've moved it or seconded. Is there any further discussion?
I'll just say, planning ahead, anticipation is always a good thing. I understand Councillor Drayton concerns about.
Good.
You've moved the motion before you can speak to.
Okay. Okay, we'll put it committed to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Can beautification, 1, 2.
Can we have the motion read, please?
If you read the motion, please take.
Keep trying to read the whole thing or just.
Read the whole thing.
Bypass project is nearing commencement and the committee recognizes the need for a comprehensive beautification plan to enhance the aesthetic appeal and overall atmosphere of the correct community. Well-planned beautification initiative which contribute to economic development, tourism and the well-being of our residents. I put forward the following motion to council to commence preparations for this. 1. Muswellbrook Shire Council initiates a town beautification plan in anticipation of the town bypass by constructing a committee immediately. 2. The town beautification plan shall include the following key components: A. Landscaping and green space enhancements along the bypass within the town. B. Installation of aesthetically pleasing signage welcoming visitors to our community. C. Maintenance and restoration of historic landmarks and heritage sites. D. Street art and public art installations to promote cultural expression. E. Development of pedestrian-friendly pathways and recreational areas. 3. Muswellbrook Shire Council shall establish and nominate a dedicated committee or task force responsible for overseeing planning, implementation and funding of the town beautification plan delivery. 4. Funding of the beautification plan shall be allocated from the town's budget, grants and mitigate funding. 5. Muswellbrook Shire Council shall actively seek input from the residents, local businesses and community organisations to ensure that the beautification plan aligns with the desired needs of our community. 6. Regular updates on the progress of the town beautification plan should be provided to the public, and transparency in decision making and budget allocation will be a priority. 7. Muswellbrook Shire Council shall work in collaboration with relevant government agencies, experts and consultants to ensure that the beautification plan is well informed and sustainable. 8. The timeline for the execution of the town beautification plan shall be developed with the aim of completing the plan within a reasonable time frame. This motion is hereby presented for discussion and approved by the Muswellbrook Shire councillors. It is our collective responsibility to enhance the charm of the town, making it even more attractive and welcoming place for all residents and visitors.
So that motion again moved by councillor myself, seconded by councillor McNeil. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous. Declare that voted upon by those against. Sorry. Councillor Drayton and Councillor Sculls. Okay, that motion's carried.
Mr. Mayor, point of order. When that particular discussion was structured, I was not given an opportunity to speak. I consider that motion not to have followed the proper process.
Thank you, Councillor Sculls. We'll have that looked upon, Emily.
Can I just clarify? So in regards to the code of meeting practice, the way that the debate should be structured is that the motion be read as it is in the business paper. It is moved and seconded. Then at that point, debate can happen and an amendment can be suggested. At that point, that amendment is to be moved and seconded. And that then becomes the motion and debate happens at that point.
Okay, yep, so we'll recommit that one then, because I did move the amendment, seconded. Point of order.
I understand that, but when Councillor McNeil moved that the motion be put, that's the end of debate.
That's what I thought.
That's what my interpretation was.
And that's why I saw point of order, because then Councillor McNeil started to talk to a motion that he had no right to talk to because he moved it to be put.
I think that it was unclear what the motion was. If when the motion, when it was recommended by councillor McKim to put the motion, it was unclear what the motion was. I would have at that point, I would suggest to
Recommend.
recommit the
Okay.
motion.
So I'll recommit the motion and I'll move the motion. I'll second it.
Can we have clarity on what the motion?
Exactly one that Kate just read out then. Exactly that. So anyone,
Just in terms of the way,
You should start now.
can we start from, the original motion as it stands in the business paper and have a mover and a seconder first?
well, I
before
move
debate
the
starts?
amendments.
Yes, so we just need a mover and a seconder on the original motion before debate can happen, which includes the, amendments. Just need a mover and a seconder on the original motion.
Look, we have had a custom and practice of amending motions prior to being
Just done
put.
tonight.
They've done that for the last 10 years. 100% agree with what you said.
Yeah, we've just done that tonight, made amendments on the, as part of it before the motion.
It's a common practice, but just for transparency and in
Yeah.
line.
So I've moved the motion with the amendments that I did before putting the motion. Councillor Ben said to put the motion, but he'd seconded it. So then Councillor Woodruff. So I've recommitted the motion now as on the screen, as per what Katie just read out. Happy for someone to speak against it. We've moved a second. So Councillor Sculls, if you wish to speak against it.
Can I just get clarification? What you're saying is we should move and second the motion that's on there, and that either gets up or down. And if that gets down, we then the meeting.
So you just need to move in second. Once you have a mover and a seconder,
Yes.
before
Then you have
that.
discussion.
Yeah.
You have
We
discussion.
can't ask multiple questions. It has to be one, two.
You
one,
do
two.
have, so the mover has the right to,
Yeah.
speak to the motion.
Yeah.
And has a right to reply, but.
Yeah. I was trying to get to. Okay, Councillor Sculls.
Okay, yeah. But my one issue with the motion, or two issues. One's pedantic, and I agree with Councillor Drayton for the use of the word shall. My basis, I don't claim to be a solicitor, but the use of the word shall, it should, most of that, it shouldn't be that word, it should be it. Shall is a rather strong wording in legal documents, so I don't think it should be shall. But my only other real major concern was with regards to the already existing plan and the use of the word mothball. Okay, it has not been acted upon, but we actually have street has already been modified as per that plan between Market Street and Brook Street. And if I do recall in that original plan, the decision with regards to parking was not resolved. It was actually options. There was centre parking and there was the curb, rear curb or forward curb park. That's my recollection. I could be proven wrong in that. My one and only other concern is the reference to a committee. I think we've got a very efficient and effective committee of 12 sitting as councillors, and I believe the committee should be the 12 councillors.
And I'm happy for that to be the case, Councillor Sculls. The whole thing is getting things moving.
Thank you for letting me have it. So.
I appreciate it. I was just going by the code of meeting conduct because we got away from it in all of those discussions then. So that motion now to be committed. All those in
I have a
favour?
question for mine.
Could I make a motion that the committee consists of, the amendment, the committee consists of all councillors?
Sorry, I accept that amendment. Do you second that amendment?
Sorry, what else?
Hang on 2 seconds, Councillor Sculls. I accept that amendment. Councillor McNeil, do you accept that amendment? Okay. Yes.
Can you please get together, Sheldon, and that to everybody? I think you'll find that the parking wasn't enacted on because of the bypass. It'd be good for councillors to see the Gazard Sheldon, so everybody knows what they're looking at and what we're talking about.
100%.
Because it is 1994, it was initiated in both Denman and Muswellbrook. It was revisited again, the Muswellbrook one. I think it's very important, what Councillor Sculls is correct. Market Street and Brook Street was straight off the plan other than the parking. Because we couldn't settle on nose to curb was the best idea, because what that did was take away any exhaust fume from cars going on the footpath or affect anybody walking past. And it meant that you were only checking on one direction of traffic to safely egress from where you park.
Yeah.
I think it's timely that that is handed out to all councillors so they can revisit it.
Yep.
And that would be the instrument for the committee of 12 to start to look at the beautification process.
And the reason why councillor Woodruff, that's why I speak to it, because I saw one picture of it in the past 9 years, and that's all. That's why I say the word mothball. We're heading down the path now, whereas is there going to be a bypass, but we know it's happening now, so we need to get moving and plan for it. I hate for the Denman bicentenary next meeting, but anyway, I move that motion with the amendment. All those in favour, please raise your hand.
Can we point from this motion?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just say the point that was amended, the only one point amended in there.
My point,
Councillor,
the committee consists of
Yeah, so point 3, all Muswellbrook Shire councils become dedicated committee responsible for overseeing planning, communication and funding of town beautification.
yeah,
and I think, and
all those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Councillor reports. We'll start from the left.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sorry, hang on.
There's some more info.
No, sorry, come to the next. That comes next.
Wait, sorry.
Yes,
Sorry.
so councillor reports. After this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that I had the privilege of attending the Muswellbrook High School Business Breakfast last Thursday and listened to their pathway programs, critical thinking, advanced sports and crafts, and my favourite was the home science because they cooked us breakfast. We had puzzles to do as part of the critical thinking program. And we got a tour of school from some very eager and proud students. Had a very good discussion with the principal, who also was very appreciative of council's relationship, their school's relationship with council, and asked me to pass on that thanks. I have 2 reports. You want me to wait?
No.
The other report was a report on the Olympic Park Development Advisory Committee, which we, for Councillor Barry, the General Manager, the Director of Property and Planning, as well as our very dedicated and committed user group representatives, met to discuss the progress of the plan management. Just to give you a little bit of an update, there has been a bit of confusion or misunderstanding or different expectations on what the plan of management should contain between council and the JRPP. There's also been some different expectations in prevent in terms of a determination by the JRPP. The committee were of the mind that the JRPP would be able to progress with their determination meeting without council's endorsement of the plan of management. Fortunately, that's not the case. We were expecting that would be conditional. They would be able to make their determination conditional to a favourable outcome of the plan of management. As councils would know, the plan of management is on public exhibition, which will expire at the end of the month, at which time it will come back to council for endorsement. At that point in time, the JRPP will be able to meet and make a determination on the development application. And I will emphasise that these people on the committee have been there for 9 years. They are incredibly dedicated to providing the best facility absolutely possible They are somewhat anxious after the September council meeting that the endorsement may not get over the line of the plan of management and therefore affect the ability to obtain the grant funding of $5.5 million and develop the Olympic Park in the way that they have it recommended. So they provide their recommendation as have staff previously, and they're a little bit perplexed as to why it wasn't supported. But they I'll get to the point. What they would like is if councillors are concerned, have questions, then they have the expertise. They would like to be invited to council to answer questions, if that's possible, or through the representatives at the committee meetings.
Just on that, Gus, they do have the opportunity, and I did speak to one of them that did call that if the item is before council, they can come along and speak to that item.
That's it. Look, they have absolutely no problem with democracy, but just I guess the courtesy of any issues or questions that they get the opportunity to respond, because they're actually more expert in the process than probably Amanda and I are.
Thanks. Councillor Barry, Narkin, Councillor Drayton, Councillor Woodruff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Not about
I attended with other councillors the official opening of the best building in Shire, in my opinion. Great day last Friday. Firstly, I want to thank you all, councillors in this term and the last, for the support for this. Matt Lysart, Paul, Chandler. Yeah, what a journey. Tough one, but a good one. And I think the proof of the pudding was the opening last Friday. Probably worthy of note, there's probably only about 2/3 of the stuff in there that there's a fair bit more to go. Dedicated small batch of people of 4 basically put all that together once council had handed over the building. So very important to our Shire and definitely to the Denver community. I think currently they have 42 pre-bookings for clubs from all over the state and interstate that come and see the museum and bring their club to our town, to our Shire, and indeed to stay in and around and spend money here. So we also had a fair few people with some funding ideas that might be fruitful for other parts of the museum as we go through that were there on the day too. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, GM. To see it come to fruition is one thing I'll hold in my heart for a long time to do it for sure.
It was beautiful. Thank you.
Well done.
I've just very short. And I wasn't representing council. I was in Dublin on the weekend for the district rating conference, which is half the state basically, our particular district. But one of the events that was on there was the public speaking event, and the girl that won it was a girl by the name of Sharice Anderson, who was the current school captain at St Joseph's and lives in Muswellbrook. She represented Scone, but that was only a little jiggly pig we did to get to people representing. She went through 3 levels of contest to get here, and her speech, this was the 3rd time I've heard it. It's refined, got better every time, and I get emotion this time, just in the quality of what she said and how she said it. And she and the current vice girl captain of Muswellbrook, I commend as future leaders of this town.
Well done. Thank you, Councillor Scales, for that report. Yeah. Councillor Bowden, Councillor Dunn. No. Councillor Mahajan, Councillor Lecky.
can hardly stand. I do have a very bad back injury at the moment, and I have a lot of things that I need to tell you. So then I submit a written report
That's fine.
because I'm just wanting to go home.
That's okay, no problem. Thank you, councillor. We will look forward to your written submission. Written questions. 14.1. There's been a written question for financial implications on enhancing bin capacity from 120 litres to 240 litres. And at the moment, there's only the information contained in this report be noted. Someone to move that way. Second. So moved by councillor Skull, second by councillor Dunn. Any further discussion? Anyone? No? Commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise your hand. So that you don't this carry. Questions for next meeting? Go to the left.
Some time ago, I can't remember what meeting it was, but some time ago we had a discussion about a building that had burnt down at 2 Leigh Street in Muswellbrook. Since been over and visited that meeting, I've had a number of community people contact me, and I'm fairly certain that no one in this room would accept living next to that building. It is horrendous. Still, when it's a burnt down building that's sat there now for some time. So it's council's fault, of course it's not. But I would like it if we could actually do a report, council could do a report into what it would cost to clean up that building. I think that from memory, the general manager, there was we had a conversation about, council cleaning it up and wearing the cost and then, getting those costs back. But I think I really do think it needs to happen immediately. Frankly, it's, as I say, I'm confident that no one in this room, it's horrendous.
Yeah, just I can provide some context to it. The mayor and general manager and I catch up every Monday. We spoke about it again this Monday just gone. It's around the costs. We will get that report done and get it back. I guess, and the background of a council Drayton, it's not a real good situation. So but I wouldn't want to live near it myself. Councillor Woodruff.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. My question is, through you to the GM, can we organise a tour of the water treatment plant? Not necessarily before Christmas, but I think it's important that we have a look at the facility we've got and have a address, I suppose, from the manager down there. As we're all aware, our plan is getting old. I think it's be a good time for us to all go down there and see what we've got and start progress on how we might replace that.
This is change from the Shire. If we have a meeting with the Shire Council tomorrow to discuss progress in this budget.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay. Actually, I've got two. One very quick answer that the general manager will be able to provide is that water treatment works. Can we check to see whether it's not actually listed? Because it's an example of a certain type of building style.
It is old.
Which might be listed. I'm not sure. I just would like to know, like to clarify before we make any big things down there. The second one is in relation to rubbish that's been dropped on footpaths around town. We're starting to get some fairly onerous examples of it. There's one on Salvage Street down towards Manning Street, outside the housing complex, just around the corner from Crickets. So we've got two beautiful places. It's currently the pile would be about 10 metres by 4 or 5 metres wide and high, and it's getting added to all the time. It's been sitting there now for quite a while. But I've also noticed that it is becoming a bit of a habit with regards to our community members for just putting stuff out on, including a local hotel that notice does it occasionally.
I did it myself on the weekend with great utilised items, and I get.
But I just wonder, the question basically is, what's our policy with regard to it? What's the cost to do it? And if you can't, I know we won't be an individual cost, but what does it cost us annually with regards to do? Because at some stage we're virtually forced morally for the rest of the community to pick it up, and then that comes at a cost. And I'd like to have some understanding of that. And is there some way that our rangers contract ownership, or is there some way of some penalty system that we can actually implement that has any chance of success?
Just as I said, for instance, had plenty on the weekends and things. I thought people that may not have the financials stuck out the front, and they're going, if you want a sprinting sleigh that ties behind you, that's the only
I've
thing.
picked up this year 2/3 of what I put out there walked.
Yes. That's the councillor Bench.
Thanks, Mayor, through you to the general manager. Not so much a question for next meeting, but we have, as of Thursday, there will be a Hunter River flood forum in Singleton. I've been invited to it, but I think I've seen the presentation, and I believe it would be a great exhibition for our chief engineer to be invited or have the time to go and visit that. Report back, because it's a big thing on the Hunter River, which is a big part of our aesthetics around Muswellbrook. So is this Thursday.
Thanks very much, Councillor Bowditch. The chief engineer is very interested in attending, but unfortunately, or fortunately, we'll have the IPWA event in Muswellbrook on Thursday. But we will look at someone else attending satisfactory.
Thank you. Definitely. Councillor Mahasen, Councillor Ricky, I think. All right, I'll get to those questions. Which now brings us to a motion to go into closed council. Moved by Councillor, sorry, missed the first person, Woodruff was it? And second by Councillor Bowditch. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried.
No, jacket on here. I thought it'd be too hot with it. Did anyone?
Still reporting on the screen. We just not move our bags to set, please, because we've got to go into the open council. Okay, ready? In relation to 17.1, the contract 2022-2023 Victoria 575 facility renovation of Victoria Park, council resolved in the recommendation from council staff that one, accepts the tender from Dowski Proprietary Limited for a sum of $140,739.30 excluding GST, and two, authorises the general manager to enter into a contract for the provision of services under the contract. 17.2, Regional Entertainment Centre QS review of FJCT Studios variation proposal for design development. Council approved FJCT Studios fee variation, including provisional sums for consultant design reports on the condition that the architect collaborates with council to ensure the project meets the value management and functionality requirements. 17.3, offer to join the Joint Hunter Resource Recovery. As per council's recommendation, council declined the offer to join the Hunter Resource Recovery Group. 17.4, review of workplace structure. Council approved the organisational structure as provided in the report. 17.5, 54 Punapalari Street, Crosby, Wonder School tenant review. Council resolved to approve proceeding as recommended in the report. And that brings the closure of council at 8:01 p.m. Thank you, council. Thank you, staff.
I just
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.